away a little bit. Jarvan's going to go ahead and die because of Jarvan's ultimate. Malzahar is going to escape. Is he? He is stunned. Meanwhile, Nasus does go ahead and come down from bottom lane and then immediately decides, hey, that might be a bad idea. So, meanwhile, Sona is doing something. She's running off and going to get power leap striked and hit by Nasus Q and ignited. So, a bit of a suicide dive there. Meanwhile, Nasus is going to go ahead and push these remaining low health champions back, as Singed and Anivia are both low. Nocturne's okay, but he's launched his Q towards them, and so he's only going to get a little bit of move speed. And it looks like that Anivia wall actually cut off Warwick, and he's going to go ahead and die from that. And now Nocturne is going to go ahead and try to dive Malzahar once again and feed another kill. And so with that, there goes the kill lead, tying the score 8 kills to 8. Anivia being the last champion alive, I'm going to go ahead and recall. People are already cursing about that. Anivia saying sorry about the wall placement. It does look like there will be an imminent push on this bottom lane. Warwick says look after bot, but Anivia has recalled. Swain is going to go ahead and push this mid lane while all champions are dead, or at least still coming back to the lane. I believe Sona should hit her move speed soon, but we will see how soon. It looks like this tower is in fact going to die. Some chat going on about thanks for looking after the bottom lane, even though Anivia had already recalled. They're going to go ahead and argue about that a little bit. Meanwhile, top is a little bit snowballed against them, especially with Swain. Going to go ahead and keep pushing in that lane after snowballing the middle lane. Snowballing meaning that the minions will go ahead and beat their equal minion waves by themselves and do some damage to the tower. So you don't have to watch that lane to defend your tower unless an enemy champion shows up. Anivia trying to counter snowball that lane and just get some XP back, as no one has reached max level yet. Sona and Singed having some fun trying to push this bottom lane of minions back. Warwick doing much the same. Nocturne waiting over here, waiting to see if he can possibly gank someone with an ultimate. Meanwhile, mid lane has 3 champions. Anivia is way overextended. Surprised Nasus didn't get a wither off. I don't quite know the range of Nasus' wither, but I think he could have gotten it off there. Wither, of course, heavily reducing attack speed and move speed for a limited duration. Jarvan is coming, of course, down to the bottom lane. Singed sees this, and we'll see what all they do. It looks like they're going to go ahead and back up, with Jack showing his face down the bottom lane to knock off those minions that were snowballed. You know, it looks like, too hard to tell. Looks like it's about even. Maybe a little bit in blue team's favor as far as the minion fighting down there. Meanwhile, Jarvan and someone else, as well as Malzahar, all over there. Sona goes ahead and calls 3. Nasus is the third person. So it's going to be a 3-man. Oh no! Sona and Singed going to go ahead and, moving up from the bottom lane, find Swain all alone. Missed ultimate there by Sona. Jax is going to go ahead and come down to the river. Going to meet up over here. Keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Nocturne throws his ultimate down. And it looks like we're going to have a 5v5 team fight here. And Warwick does go ahead and ult Swain to kill him. Quickly, Malzahar's burst down. Nasus is getting chased, leaving Jax in the back to do whatever he wants. Looks like Sona and Anivia are going to go ahead and chase Jax, whilst Jarvan runs away. And Jax does go ahead and get away as a bad wall. Put him on the escapist side. Or just let him get away. Now Jarvan's going to go ahead and ult Singed, not doing too much damage as it was out of range of the tower. And so Jarvan's going to go ahead and cancel out to get his way. He's going to go ahead and spam his abilities. I should say Jax is already trying to harass the enemy champions off the lane, but looks like they are going to go ahead and push it off despite whatever poking that Jax and them want to do. The tower does die, and now Jax is getting hit by that fear, and ooh, Nocturne does get the kill, although Anivia's Icicle would have gotten it definitely. Meanwhile, top lane is snowballed against it. Is going to go ahead and take some more hits. Sona's going to go ahead and take care of that. Anivia is going to go ahead and stay in the middle lane without any mana. 39 and going back up, although she has a Rite of Ages, so no extra mana regeneration from there. Meanwhile, Nasus, Swain, and Malzahar determined to hold the middle lane. Warwick going to go ahead and take advantage of the fact that everyone was pushed far deep in mid or dead to kill this outer turret up here. So now purple team is going to go ahead and be missing their their outer 3 turrets, with blue team missing only 2 of their turrets with top missing. Meanwhile, Nocturne's asking if anyone wants to go do a team battle in mid, and Warwick saying in a second. I believe Sona's going to say in a second and buy something first. like Shirelius or Will of the Ancients. Warwick's going to go ahead and recall after stealing the enemy blue, and Nocturne and Singe are going to go ahead and mess around with Nasus, Malzahar, and Swain. Anivia's going to go ahead and help reinforce it, so it looks like a 3v3, although there's Jarvan, so suddenly it is now a 3v4, and we don't know where their 5th champion is, so we're going to assume he's there. There's Jax hovering in the background. Currently a 5v3, although we are slowly being backed up to our tower. Warwick is moving up, as well as Sona, so it's soon going to be a 5v5. We're going to wait and see what exactly happens. Meanwhile, Swain does get Nocturne stuck, and Nocturne quickly loses half of his health in a small poke there. Luckily, it was on the very edge of the line. Here comes minions trying to go ahead and give them a little bit more of a range that they can safely move up to, and a little bit of poking going on back and forth. Nocturne does go ahead and get stuck by that never move again. Singe just go ahead and hit a bunch of people with his W, and it looks like he is going to go ahead and go in with Anivia. Hard to tell. Looks like nobody wants to truly fight. The tank doesn't want to go in, and they of course don't have any true tank. And so Nocturne's going to go ahead and dive Swain. Swain's going to pop his ultimate. Fight's going off. Sona ultimate there, and a lot of burst. Can't really tell too much what's going on. Malzahar goes ahead and ults Warwick. Someone else died in the meantime. Meanwhile, Nocturne's going to go down. Anivia's low. Sona's running. And there goes Anivia. And looks like someone's going to go ahead and try to stay. Anivia does go ahead and die, keeping a track on Sona, as she is the last remaining champion. It goes ahead and drops a CV, and it looks like Malzahar and them are going to turn around, so she's going to go ahead and try to hold the mid lane versus 4 remaining champions, although Jarvan is low. Sona's trying to come up and get him, but it's going to take an empowered leap from Jax. Jarvan is going to go ahead and try to harass him off, so we're going to see some back and forth here, and it does look like Sona isn't too afraid of these champions over here. Jarvan actually got really low. Malzahar is going to try to force them off, and until then, it looks like Sona's going to be enough to force that minion wave back. Meanwhile, Jarvan does in fact get the recall off before Sona can get in range. Malzahar was still peeking his head out of the fog of war. Singe is going to go ahead and take the bottom lane. Top lane for blue team is snowballing towards the purple team inner turret, and all 5 members of the enemy team are MIA with Dragon up and Baron, although no vision for blue team on either side. Meanwhile, Sona, a little bit nervous there, throwing down the CV on the bush where they would be if they were going to gank her on that side, and going to go blindly down the river, although she does have 4 wards, so we'll see where she puts that. Looks like she's going to go ahead and ward Dragon, see if it's there or not. Is she? Yes, she is. Dragon is of course still there. Jax and Nasus is going to go ahead and fight off the minions at top, along with Swain, not taking chances there. They're going to stay in a group for the rest of the fight, it looks like. Meanwhile, Sona is going to go off towards danger, probably drop a ward near Baron and or that jungle entrance near there. Malzahar is going to go ahead and cover the mid lane against the blue minions that were snowballed, although if no champions interfere, blue minions still have a little bit of advantage there as far as health. Team fight looks like it's about to start mid. Someone's going to go ahead and clairvoyance over there to make sure that it was safe to take that spot and ward blue. Meanwhile, Anivia hitting level 16. It does look like a team fight is about to break out with Sona on the very tip edge. We're going to see what all happens here. Now, currently it is a 5v4 if they do engage, as Warwick is moving towards the top lane to take out those minions coming towards that tower. But does Red know that? Now Red does know that it is indeed a 5v4, and we will see if blue team backs up or if there's a sudden leap forward, as there are in fact 5 enemy champions in mid lane. Looks like they're going to go ahead and be a little bit passive here. Jarvan wanting to come up, but getting hit by Anivia's stun, also known as the Flash Frost. And Jarvan throws on his ultimate, initiates, and here comes the leap in power. Jarvan quickly goes down. There goes the Sona ultimate, stunning 2 champions at least. And looks like there's some move speed going off. Nocturne goes ahead and ults in and kills Jax. Anivia's trying to focus down Nasus, I believe, but now she's hurt. However, with Warwick jumping in with his ultimate and the tower, looks like they quickly took him down. And now Swain and Anivia look like they're chasing down Malzahar. I don't know, it could go either way at the moment. Anivia and Swain are really low. Does she have an egg? No, she doesn't have an egg, but Warwick is going to go ahead and run in to try to avenge that, and he does go ahead and pick up Swain with his Q. Malzahar looking like he wants to go ahead for some more, but Warwick is low on mana, and while he does have a Blood Razor, it looks like he does not quite want to engage. Meanwhile, bottom lane is snowballed towards bottom's inner turret, and top lane is snowballed towards top's inner turret. So he was just trying to hold Malzahar as long as possible in the lane. He's probably going to go ahead towards top, or not. Looks like he's going to keep pushing that lane. Meanwhile, champions are up. Jarvan's going to go ahead and take care of bottom lane. Probably another champion going to come take care of top lane. I'm guessing Nasus and maybe Swain. All of the blue team champions are moving towards the mid lane to take out Malzahar. Malzahar, knowing this, is going to go ahead and back off. And we'll see if any of the wards pick up any of the champion movements as we wait to see what else is going to go ahead and go on this game. So as far as what's going on as far as item building, Sona is going to go ahead and build support and auras. Anivia is going to be building tanky-ish AP, going spell penetration boots, but getting a Rod of Ages and an Archangel Staff relatively quickly, I'm guessing, for the mana regen. Singed is going to, of course, be building good old HP, AP mana items, building a Rod of Ages first, and looking to be a Banshee's Veil second, as a quarter of his mana will turn into HP. So he's already at 2775 health, with 92 armor and 108 magic resist. Meanwhile, Jarvan's flagged getting blue buff, but everyone is on the other side of the map, determined to stick together. Other four champions of the purple team are MIA, with Warwick cleaning up that lane. Singed waiting to see if anyone shows up, and we're going to go ahead and start moving towards the mid lane. Move speed activated. Nocturne saying he's going to go ahead and go for red buff, but red buff is in fact missing, so I'm moving toward there, and oh no, there's Jax. Nasus was last seen in the mid lane. It looks like there could be a potential team fight brewing right here in the jungle. At the edge of Baron, there's Sona ultimating three of them so she doesn't die. Then Fear going off, Never Move completely missing. And just goes ahead and picks up Swain. Anivia, I think, stunning all three champions with her Flash Frost. All three champions standing in that well, taking percent HP damage, and it looks like Sona did go ahead and pick up Jax. Malzahar is really low, but they're focusing Swain instead, although it looks like Anivia and Sona are running, but Warwick is at full health and he's running back to the lane. Will he be able to intercept and get Malzahar? Meanwhile, Anivia does go ahead and drop a wall, preventing any further chase. So Sona and Warwick are going to go ahead and start chasing. He goes ahead and ultimates Malzahar and takes him out. Jarvan's low, but he did go ahead and get behind that tower. Anivia is going to go ahead and move up to the lane and start pushing this middle turret, trying to get a Flash Frost off on Jarvan, who is identified by the blue team with that Warwick vision, which says if you're under half health or so, he will be able to see you, and I believe get increased attack speed. Anivia did go ahead and finally recall to heal up, and does look like with Singed on the battlefield, everyone else has spawned aside from Malzahar, who did die at the very end. Meanwhile, it looks like top lane is again in blue's favor, although bottom lane is being handled by Warwick, as it has been pushed all the way to its inner turret, although it doesn't look like the inner turret has actually taken damage, although it hasn't been checked at all since the beginning of the game, as it's still showing at 1300 health. Warwick going to go ahead and take his normal red buff, and Sona's going to go ahead and move to the mid lane and support Anivia. Jax going to go ahead and take care of the top lane with Nasus, each trying to better farm up. Apparently Jax, Nasus, and Swain just like hanging out in the top lane whenever it is snowballed against each other. Ward covering Baron and Dragon at the moment, but elsewhere not too much. Singed and Anivia, and possibly Nocturne all moving up to guard the top lane, as there were three champions I believe I saw were holding on to the purple lane in mid. So Sona's going to go ahead and move up and take care of the bottom lane, as Warwick looks like he's going to be busy taking care of mid lane, which has three champions pushing it, or possibly moving up to support the top lane. Top lane still pushing very hard. Anivia ultimate, Q, and Singed Poison all going off, but top lane is going to go ahead and start moving bottom. Sona's going to, of course, keep pushing back that minion wave. Not going to be assisting with the auras that time. And this looks like it's going to be a very powerful push coming up to mid. But if Warwick can hold out, blue team is going to get a really strong flank here, with Singed and Anivia coming out of the bushes, and Nocturne ulting in, hitting. Wow, Nasus is feared. He's getting focused. No, Warwick went and ulted Malzahar, acting as a sort of an anti-carry, but he counter ults Warwick, and Malzahar does in fact counter gank him. Sona ultimate going off and stunning two of them, and Nocturne's going to go ahead and pick up the kill by being sped up on his Q and fearing Malzahar with his channeled GOT. He's trying to pull the same trick off on Jax. Jax does go ahead and get off in E, but it does look like that's not good enough, and he does pick up the kill over there, and Anivia picks up the kill on Jarvan in the chase down with Swain and them. And was that an ace? Quite no. Swain is still up. He did escape, and it does look like they are going to go ahead and start Baron. Warwick is not, of course, happy about that, as he is currently dead, and he wants them to push the mid lane instead against Swain, because if Baron is killed while Warwick is dead, Warwick will not get the Baron buff. So he is a little bit concerned there. So he's saying stop, 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 and he's freaking out a little bit over there. Meanwhile, bottom lane can't do anything to fight off this Baron, as they're all just now spawning. Warwick did spawn in time. Looks like they did go ahead and stop fighting a little bit just for Warwick. Meanwhile, it looks like there's going to be a global recall, aside from maybe Nocturne. Looks like Sona's going to go ahead and get some wards down. Possibly clairvoyancing mid lane to get some items, then begin a big push. Meanwhile, Sin showing his face top, although he wasn't poisoning the minions, so maybe not. He was just checking the bushes, perhaps. Meanwhile, Warwick is going to go solo Baron, so I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that Warwick doesn't get ganked too hard, as she does have a Shirley's Reverie and her Q, or her E, I should say, to help them get away. So Warwick's quickly getting Dragon buff while it is up. Malzahar is trying to push the mid lane with Jarvan. Jarvan is going to go ahead and start moving towards bottom lane over here. Jarvan does get spotted with Clairvoyance, and Warwick ultimate, no! Looks like Warwick ultimate will in fact go off with Nocturne ultimate, and Sona somehow gets the kill there. Meanwhile, Nasus is overextended. He's pushing past his tower, although a vision has disappeared, and we will see exactly which way they're going to push. Malzahar is, of course, staying on his tower. He's a little bit scared. Blue team's going to go ahead and push back with minions to try to get enough of advantage over here. And meanwhile, it looks like Malzahar's gotten some advantage, or some reinforcements, I should say, in the form of Jax and Swain, making this a 3v5, although the 5 have Baron and the 3 have a turret, about balancing it out, still being a 3v5. Ooh, a 4v5 now going down. Spirit Fire trying to take out the minions. Neither side quite wanting to engage, waiting for the Juggernaut. There he is. Good old Singed for this team, and he is not going to engage after all, despite having that Banshee's Veil and another Negatron Cloak. He's stacking that magic resistance. You know, Warwick saying he's going to backdoor bot, and what he means by backdoor is he's going to go ahead and push that lane. And we're going to go ahead and see how this goes from here. Warwick going to go ahead and just go straight for the tower. Is he going to get it? Looks like he's going to get focused, backing up a little bit. Sona shows up. Nocturne shows up. Looks like there's going to be a little bit of an action here. Jarvan shows up, but oh no, here comes Singed and Anivia. Will Jarvan take the bait? Looks like he is. And Sona ult's going to go ahead and stun all 3 of them, even Nocturne in the back. I mean, Nocturne, Nasus in the back. 2 champions get instantly killed. Nasus trying to run away. He pops his ultimate, so he'll be a lot harder to kill. Swain's trying to come into the fight, and he says, nope, never mind, I'm going to drop a never move and run. Malzahar agrees, and all 3 champions get insta-ganked, as well as the turret, and Team Purple agrees to surrender with 4 votes for and 0 against. Good game calls all players on Team Blue. Good game, says Jarvan and Malzahar on Team Purple. Great game, says Nocturne. And apparently one last champion on Team Purple said, listen more please next time. So that was the end of the game. I hope you guys enjoyed that recording. It was pretty awesome. Had my first ranked, won it as Sona. Sona with the new changes is of course awesome, as you guys got to see in that last match. Hope you guys enjoyed that commentary, and if you did, be sure to subscribe. This is Observious, signing out.